Hello and welcome to a quick look at Guild Wars 2. Recently it's gone free to play and I decided to put my finger into this sticky pie. Full disclosure, I've only clocked in a few hours into the game, so some information may be incorrect, but it wouldn't be a quick look if I had dumped, 100 plus hours into the game. Now, you may have noticed that you can only have 2 characters that can be made unless you buy the game. Unlike other free-to-play games, Guild Wars 2 has nearly everything open and usable without hiding it behind a paywall. The character I picked is a Norn, a big burly race of humans that roam the peaks of mountains, and the class I chose is a fighter healer class called a Guardian. Now, the individual races don't have any benefits like buffs to different stats or skills with certain weapons. The only differences are aesthetics, starting locations, and personal quests. Each class and race has its own personal quest that can be fulfilled, making you attach yourself to your character even more. Me being a big role player, this really got me hooked. Abilities and skills are very different between classes, and even with the multitude of weapons. A sword has different attacks and specials than a hammer or an axe. As well as a one-handed weapon, you can have an offhand weapon. Shields, other one-handed weapons, and things like a focus can give you a wide variety of offensive and defensive abilities. The game even lets you switch between them on the fly, so having a plethora of abilities to suit nearly any encounter is very valuable. Onto one thing I really enjoy, which is crafting. It's complex and rewarding to unlock new recipes by adding different ingredients together, or if you want to cheat, you can just look them up online. I picked up 2 for my character to focus on, jewelry and armor smithing. At first you can only have 2 crafts at once, but you can get more after jumping through some hoops. That said, this is where I encountered my second paywall, if you will. After getting frustrated with the lack of resources I could get by myself, I turned to the trading post for help. Little did I know, this function is handicapped as well for non-paying players. Some items are locked away, but some items are unlocked and available for purchase. Free accounts are limited to the base crafting items, it seems, like ores, instead of purchasing ingots, for example. Guild Wars 2 also has a gem store. You can buy gems with real money, and these gems can then be exchanged for in-game items. Goods and items bought for cash in the game do not offer any advantage over those available in the game through the investment of time. Of course, only certain items are purchasable with gems as well. Combat in Guild Wars 2 is very action-based, meaning your character isn't locked into place while she swings her hammer. In fact, the game encourages you to roll away from attacks. This keeps the pace of combat high and a lot less stagnant. Questing is another beast altogether. Starting out, most quests you get will be the normal go here, get some things, and come back. As you're running to the area to start gathering the items, a dynamic boss in the area can appear and a mob of players show up and all hell breaks loose. Spells start flying, axes begin swinging, people are screaming, minions are gurgling their last breaths, and then the area goes quiet. Then you realize this is in fact the wrong area. The flowers that lady wanted is leagues in the other direction. Luckily, there are waypoints you can travel to regardless of where you are, taking the pain of walking back to an area into a 3 to 5 second loading screen. Once you are done with the quest, there's no need to return to the quest giver unless you're interested in the items that they sell to you. They usually sell like small trinkets that give you stat boosts, or sometimes a better item, maybe even a weapon that's better than what you have now. To summarize, I love the way Guild Wars 2 handles quests and combat. The quests are very dynamic, and combat is frantic at the best of times, and very steady at the worst of times. Boss fights are insane, especially the dynamic ones that just pop up out of nowhere, pretty much. Those are really fun. Crafting is complex, but it is very approachable. Some of the recipes are, you know, very obvious, but some are very tricky, and it kind of gives you a, you know, hey, you know, you are missing 1 or 2 items, and then once you find those items, then it unlocks. So it's very easy. Level restrictions are nearly non-existent. If, say, you know, you get to level 60, I think the cap is 80. So once you get to level 60, it's not like, hey, you have to buy the game before you can get to level 80. No, you can get all the way up to level 80 if you want to. Microtransactions are small, and they don't break the balance of the game, like the gem store. You don't have to worry about, you know, people running around with uber elite items. There is PvP and PvE. Single player, doing it by yourself solo is very viable. You don't have to worry about getting a group of players together and having to do all that. It's very it's a good single player experience as well as a multiplayer experience. There's also world versus world. Now, I haven't experienced this because I've clocked in, I think, 20 hours, if that, into the game so far. So I really haven't gone too far. I've restarted on a couple characters because I didn't like the way I selected their personal quest. So I had to start over, so that kind of ate up most of my time. But with that in mind, the world versus world aspect sounds really interesting. I really hope to get there eventually. I'm slowly making my way there. Above all else, Guild Wars 2 is 100% free. You can pick it up at guildwars2.com, or there is going to be a link in the description that will take you directly to it. Thank you so much for watching. My name has been Ziznik. I have been your gamer of games for gaming, and I will see you guys next time.